It's time for a take on tech.
Американская фирма Transceptor Technology.
The very latest in tech news.
Hello internet world, welcome to a new video on the Geekanoids channel. It's time for Take on Tech. This is my take on something that's happened in the tech world over the past few days. And I was sort of sitting here with what you could say is like a memory blank. I can't even remember what I was going to talk about. What was it? What was it? This must have been what was going through Apple's mind when they thought, you know what? Let's just bung a new iPad mini out. We haven't done one of those for a long time. And they must have really just plucked it out of thin air and thought that we haven't updated the iPad mini since the 4th generation. So let's put a new one out with not really much changes. We'll just change the internals and do what I think is a very, very lazy upgrade, an extremely lazy upgrade. A lot of people, and we've seen this from when they released the first iPad mini. I think it took the first generation for some people to really get into the mindset of what they could use an iPad mini for. And then by the second generation, people were really loving it. And then the third generation, people were like, yeah, the iPad mini's really got a place in our sort of lifestyle. Maybe we were using it for work, maybe for a specific purpose. And then they couldn't wait until the 4th gen came out. People were clamoring for an upgrade. People were asking Apple, when is the next upgrade coming? And then we got the iPad mini 4. And people still really like it. And then Apple do this with not much changes to the iPad mini 5, purely just speed bumps. And I just think, and I'll say it again, I don't mind saying it, I know it's not going to be a very popular opinion, but I think the iPad mini 5 is a very lazy upgrade from Apple. Yes, it has addressed some of the speed and performance things that we wanted in the iPad mini 4. There's also been some changes in the way the screen is bonded. There's also added Apple Pencil support, although I only think it's for the Apple Pencil version 1, not the latest version 2, which has got that magnetic sort of feature to be able to adhere to the top of the iPad when not in use. So at least we've got a few little bits, but I do still think Apple could have done a lot more. And when we see these upgrades from Apple, a lot of people are cottoning on to the fact that it is quite minimal and it's not an essential upgrade, and that Apple are sort of losing their way a little bit. We need to see innovative products, not these iterative upgrades, or in this case, a very poor upgrade in my opinion. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about the new 2019 iPad Air as well, which I don't think was a lazy upgrade, but I think it's quite a confused upgrade. I want to talk to you about that a little bit later on in this video. Before I do so, this is of course a live broadcast, so a big hello to all those of you tuning in live to Take on Tech. Hello to Sharon Ferreira, thanks for tuning in Sharon, really nice to see you here in the live broadcast. Also David Romero Hermo, Tech17 and Scott Burgess, really very, very pleased to see you all here. If you're watching after the live broadcast, then you can use the regular comment section below. And also don't forget, if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. I publish a new tech video pretty much every single day. Quick question before I move on to the subject of the iPad Air for 2019. Tech17, are you buying either one? I will be getting both in. Not buying either one, not going to upgrade my current iPad, or very doubtful. I've got a 2018 iPad at the moment, and it does what I want. I don't use my iPad for much more than social media, checking emails and consuming content, i.e. YouTube videos, a little bit of Sky TV and some Netflix as well. So very little apart from that. And that's moved me very nicely on to talk about the new 2019 iPad Air. I think it is, credit where credit is due, I think it is a very good upgrade. It makes the iPad product line a little bit more confusing for consumers. For people like us who are really into our technology, it's not confusing, but for onlookers, they might be looking and saying, well, iPad Air, and then we've got a regular iPad. What's the difference? And then we've got iPad Pro. What's the difference there? So it can get a little bit confusing for regular consumers, but it is a good upgrade. They've given us new screen bonding technology in this as well, so a better screen. We've gone up to a 10.5 inch screen. The bezels stay, from what I can see, more or less the same. The thickness more or less the same. It's got the new A12 Bionic chip. It's got a lot more upgrades inside. 3 GB of RAM. Could have done with maybe 4. Apple always skimp a little bit on RAM purely because they've got good memory management or good RAM management. And not sure what the storage starts off on this. I think it starts at 64 GB. And then we've got the range of colours and of course Apple Pencil version 1 support, not version 2, version 1 support. New smart keyboard covers as well, and of course new covers for the new size. So all round quite a good upgrade. The confusing part, and this is where I think Apple are really losing their mind. They're losing their chain of thought. They're losing their process in developing new products and upgrading existing lines. What they've done here, which I think is very confusing, is they've introduced this new 10.5 inch iPad Air, and it's a better performance iPad than the 10.5 inch iPad Pro. So they've got rid of the 10.5, and forgive me if I've got this wrong, but they've got rid of the 10.5 inch iPad Pro, and now there's a 10.5 inch iPad Air, which was almost as good, if not better, well, better in a lot of respects, in performance respects, than the outgoing iPad Pro. We've still got the larger iPad Pros, of course, so they are still there, and they go up to a much larger storage capacity as well. But if you just want Apple Pencil support, how annoyed would you be if you'd invested in an iPad Pro before so that you could use the Pencil, and then Apple introduced Pencil support to the standard iPad last year, and now we've got a 10.5 inch iPad, which for all intents and purposes is better than the iPad Pro, or better than that 10.5 inch iPad Pro that they've discontinued. That would be very annoying if you'd invested in that Pro line, and now the new iPad Air for 2019 has got pretty much all of those features and better performance. Time will only tell whether it's got a better screen. It looks like it would have equal quality screen on there, but Apple, what are you doing? I'm struggling with my words because I just can't fathom what Apple have done with this. They are making it very, very confusing. And I've talked about this in other videos, slightly off topic, about Apple's lack of support for the Pro users. We've still got no news on the new modular Mac Pro. And then the day after the iPad launches on the website, we get new iMacs. Same design, very little change, just bumps in processors. And what are Apple doing there? And bumps in processors on the iMac Pro, which you can now spend, I think it's almost £14,000 on an iMac Pro. And there's rumours today, and if these rumours become true, or if they come to fruition, that today might see the launch of a new iPod Touch. If Apple do that, I'm going to be even more confused, because why would there be an Apple iPod Touch nowadays? I talked to somebody about this yesterday, and they said if that does happen, maybe it's for the younger user. But we've seen this already. Many parents and many younger users managed to attain iPhones. So I think the iPod Touch is very much now, it wasn't a few years back, but very much now, quite a redundant product. So Apple are very confusing lately, really confusing. But I will go back to giving credit where credit is due. The update to the iPad Air is a very worthy update. If you're on an older iPad or an older iPad Air, then this is a great tablet. It comes in at a good price point as well, all things considering. The iPad Mini 5, not that impressed. I don't think they're going to sell a lot of them. Let's jump into the live chat and have a look. It says, Mr. No Name, will both be compatible with Fortnite Mobile, and will they be a good upgrade regarding specs? I think I just covered that question a little bit, saying that the iPad Air for 2019 is a good upgrade, iPad Mini 5 not so. They should play Fortnite. I've seen no reason why not. We've also got Lermit Fernandez, I think there are too many iPad models, and for the first purchase it is confusing. It is extremely confusing. I totally agree with you there. We've also got Uberdump. Yep, I've gone right off Apple hardware specs now. Would like to see a review of the Surface Pro 6. I've just bought one. I'd be really interested to hear from you how that's going. So drop me a comment in this video after it goes live on the main channel, or tweet me at Geekanoids. If you want to follow along on Twitter, by all means tweet me. Let me know how you're getting on with the Surface Pro 6. Null Zero, the original iPad Air came out with iOS 7. Credit to Apple, have continued to support updates all the way to iOS 12. That is really good. Hope they offer long-term updates and support for more of their products. Apple have always been really good at supporting older products. I totally agree with you there. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just in summary, not impressed with the iPad Mini 5, impressed with the new 2019 iPad Air, but I do think Apple are confusing consumers. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in another video very soon.